Catherine Zeta-Jones, the woman who once left the whole world breathless with her legendary performance in Chicago, was not only a symbol of beauty and talent in Hollywood, but also the embodiment of a seemingly flawless life. Mesmerizing beauty, global fame, and a fairy tale romance with Michael Douglas. But behind those deep eyes and the smile that once stirred millions of hearts were silent days of battling inner darkness that few ever knew. She once lifted the golden Oscar high, once walked the red carpet with such radiance the world couldn't look away. Yet there were moments she vanished completely, leaving behind haunting silences. What could possibly bring down a woman who seemed invincible in the spotlight? And what pain lay so deep it made her choke up and confess, "I suffered for my art, and if I had to choose again, I would accept it all." This is not just a story of a star who touched the heights of glory. It is the journey of a soul who gave herself entirely to the light, and because of that very light, carried wounds that could never be named. Before the gowns, before the gold, before the spotlight became her second skin, Catherine Zeta-Jones's story began not with applause, but with a gasp. The kind of gasp that cracks the silence of a hospital room and tears open a future not yet lived. It was not a stage, but an operating table that bore witness to the first fight of her life. Beneath the elegance she would one day wear like armor lies a scar, just under her chin, delicate and nearly forgotten by the camera's gaze, but never by her body. It was etched there when she was just a toddler in Swansea, Wales, her tiny lungs failing, her breath fading into something dangerously still. A vicious viral infection had gripped her with terrifying speed, and the doctors, desperate to save her, carved open her throat in a life-or-death tracheotomy. The surgery left more than a scar. It left a prophecy, the beginning of a life that would demand survival long before it offered joy. That mark would never vanish. It would only learn to retreat into the softness of makeup, the steel of ambition, and the bright, blinding light of fame. Born on September 25th, 1969, Catherine came into a world that was small but safe. Her father, a gentleman with flower on his sleeves, owned a humble bakery. Her mother stitched clothes with quiet dignity, her fingers weaving care into every seam. Their days were built from early mornings and modest dreams, from narrow streets and secondhand shoes. Yet within that ordinariness, something extraordinary stirred. Catherine moved through the house like a spark hunting for air. She danced as if the living room were a stage and the ceiling too low for her dreams. She sang with a voice too large for her age, too certain for her size. Her parents noticed, listened, believed. Then, as if the universe conspired with their hope, fate handed them an unthinkable gift. They won £100,000 in a national lottery.